First of all, we have regrets from our 3 councillors that are involved with the lobster fishery that couldn't make it tonight. And before we start, as the Warden, councillors and staff of the Municipality of Argyll would like to take this opportunity to wish you and yours the very best this holiday season. May the new year bring you blessings, including health, happiness, prosperity, season's greetings to everyone. Thank you very much. And we'll move on for approval of the agenda.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carried. Is there any conflicts of interest?
Not so much a conflict of interest, sir. 11G, EMC Service Inquiry Response. I was just going to ask if we could put that off until the next meeting.
Pending more information.
Pending more information on that issue.
Yes, we can do that.
If that's all right with the person that moved and seconded that motion.
Could I? Is there there's a problem?
No, not necessarily a problem. Just have some more information coming in on that.
I get you. Thank you.
Just waiting to see what goes on.
Perfect with me.
Okay. Next up is a presentation from the Senior Safety Program Coordinator, Peggy Boudreau. The floor is yours.
All right. Is this on? Yeah. Good evening, everyone. You all know me. I know you do. I'm here to talk to you about the Senior Safety Program, which has been in operations for the last 5 years. We're going in our 6th year, so I think it's time that we kind of look at it in a different perspective, maybe, the changes that have happened over the 5 years. The program is going well. I guess you've all been circulated with the presentation, like part of it, so I'm going to go through the presentation, and if there's any questions that you want answered or anything on the statistics that's going to be put forward to you and the information, we can answer at the end, or if you feel free, just stop me when I'm talking and we will take care of it, okay? All right. So the first slide shows you the historical stats from 2012 to the present time. So in 2012, the program, it was a new program, it was brand new, so we were visiting everybody in their homes, trying to promote the program, get people involved. So we had, in the municipality of Argyll, we had 185 new clients, of course, because we were visiting, that was our main focus, was to visit and get clients and get on board to the program. So we were learning as we went along. So as you can see, 2012, 185 clients. Now that's only for the municipality of Argyll, and at this time, the municipality of Yarmouth only had a part-time coordinator when we first started. So their numbers are a little different. So these numbers are just for the municipality of Argyll, but our program is for Yarmouth County. So these are just the numbers. And they're not, to a T, they're approximations, because we do collect data on a daily basis on each client that we have. So we had 350 home visits, which is visits that we go in the home and we do whatever we do in that first year. So it was pretty busy. And with the new clients, it was a time to do the Vial of Life, to do all that stuff. So it took a little bit of time, but there were revisits, of course, during that time. 2013, 450 visits, home visits, new clients, 83. So the program, we were still going into the 185 clients, because some were still our clients. They stayed on. And then we had 83 new ones. So you can see the progress. 2014, 520 home visits. It was busy, going back to the same clients. This is an average of what we do, the visits. And we had 35 new clients. So as you can see from 2014, 15, 16, and to the present date, the clients, the new clients average, around the 30, 35. That's the average new clients from the last 4 years, I guess. The total active clients to date, this is the people that are still on our client list. Over the years, we've had new clients. We've lost some, of course, due to different reasons. So we have, in my file, in my caseload, I still have about 270 clients that, some I don't talk to in a year or the year, some I talk to on a daily basis, some I contact, monthly. It depends on the situation. So some of the old clients, the previous clients from the first year, I see some of them that were, at that time, they were good at their home, and now some of these clients are coming back with different issues. So that's the process, I guess, for the home visit, and that's how it works. So is there any questions on that? Okay. All right, so we'll move on to the home visits. Okay. Over the past years, our main goal, of course, is, and it'll continue to be, to support the seniors in their homes and do the home visits to make sure they're safe in there, and to keep them in their homes. We're not there to remove them. That's our main objective. Keep them in their homes as long as possible in a safe and healthy way. And then also the next step would be to enhance the knowledge of the seniors, to teach them on different things that are out there for them, different agencies, different services and of course there's always the safety issue. We always talk about safety in the home. Lock your doors, don't answer your phone for strangers, all that stuff we continue to monitor. We have opportunities for seniors to become involved in the community. We have seniors that are volunteers that work with us, that we can call upon. So we have a list of people that, the younger seniors that we call, the younger people that want to be involved in the community, and it helps out a lot. We depend on these people, make a call, tell us what's going on. Okay. Transportation, that's the next big step that we do. I do have a list of clients that I transport on a regular basis. I try not to do this as much as the need is out there, but I try to balance out, my work day as much as I can. But there are some cases out there where they have no one. I know the Hope Dollar Ride brings them out and brings them to different places, but they're not always available for doctor's appointments, because a doctor's appointment can take, up to 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever. The Hope Dollar Ride wouldn't be able to, accommodate that. And some of these clients, the high-risk clients, are looking for me to be at the doctor with them. That's one of the things that a lot of them, they can't understand what's going on with the doctor. They want me to be with them. So these are the high-risk clients that I'm going to get to later.
Does that put you in a situation that you shouldn't be there? Or is that part of your mandate? Or do you have a mandate on that part?
I don't have a mandate. I've discussed it before with the CAO here. Because it was getting to be a little tricky there about the transportation issue. So we did claw back a little bit. But I still have approximately 5, I would say 2 that are really dependent on the program, on me to transport, which, there's not much we can do for the time being, but it's something we can work on. Okay?
At the same time, though, we'd hate to see you ever be in a case where you end up in trouble or something
Yeah,
ever happens.
exactly.
It's
Oh, yeah.
all right till something happens, then
Exactly. And, you know, nothing's happened so far. I always get the consent of the client, consent of the doctor, whoever, the bank, whoever, wherever I bring them, they know who I am. And now the doctors are calling me for the information, you know, because these people have no one. So,
I was just more so thinking about if something happened while en route. Or
yeah,
as a result of
exactly.
an accident
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, exactly. So far, so good that, yeah.
You are insured for.
Yes, we are. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
we're insured for that.
You're insured, okay.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, the insurance is covering
Would
it.
you need any extra insurance, like for transporting passengers?
So
or-
long as she's verified with her insurer, with her carrier.
And that
And
is, yeah.
that's clearly
Yeah,
explained to the
yeah,
carrier.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah, it
Or
is,
the-
yeah.
Your insured.
Yeah,
Just don't wanna
we're
see-
covered.
Just don't want to
Yes.
see you get in trouble.
No, I know. All right, so I guess that's it. High-risk clients, okay. Everybody asks the same question, what's a high-risk client? So what we categorize a high-risk client is someone who lives alone and has no close family member in the area or has no one. And isolation, which is a big factor, like they're in an isolated community, they know no one, they don't have any contacts with friends, neighbors. And then there's the physical and mental health issues. There's different types of issues with them, like physically their mobility is not great, or their mental, all kinds of factors can come into this situation. So those are high risk. And on the average, we average about 20 of them. That's between the two of us, high risk. Because you must understand, we work together, Doris and I, the coordinator for the municipality of Yarmouth. And if there's situations that, you know, we need each other, we job share in that way a lot of times. So these are our high risk. That has been, in the beginning, of course, we didn't have the high risk because we didn't know of them. But that has averaged out now. It's about 20 a month that we have that on our list, on our radar, between the two of us that we, you know, have to keep close tabs on. Sometimes it's a little lower, but not really. I've looked at all the stats and the data, and that's what we came out with. Yeah. So it keeps us busy. Okay. Okay, our referrals from and to the RCMP and other agencies. So this is the stats. I put a cute picture there. This is when we had our World Senior Abuse Day a couple of years ago, and the coordinators from the South Shore got together, and the Royal Bank sponsored our t-shirts and all that stuff. So this is where the picture was taken, and that used to be our big boss, I guess. She's no longer with us. So RCMP referrals to date. We have referred, no, they have referred to us 111. Now that's with both myself and Doris. We have 111 referrals from the RCMP. So, and we have referred to the RCMP 41. So it keeps them busy, keeps us busy, because the referrals that they give us is usually a case that is one of our high risk. I must say that, because usually when the RCMP are involved, not all of them, but most of them are a high risk, you know, client that they really need help. They're calling the RCMP, someone's around their home, whatever, you know, there's different issues or safety issues that, so that's that. Referrals to other agencies, well, there's about 100. There's different agencies would be doctors. We refer to doctors, or doctors refer to us, lawyers, banks, all the different mental health, anyone like refers to us. And we've had a lot from outside, like that don't live here, like family members that live outside, so they're calling about their loved ones that are here. So we have a lot of questions on that, more and more, because the program is evolving and they know about us. So when they come to visit in the summertime and they find their parents or whoever, their loved one, you know, in need of some assistance, well, they usually call us, they find us some way. Adult protection is a big one that we use a lot. So we had 73 altogether since the beginning of the program that we've referred to, or she's referred back to us. Like the mix there is probably us referring more than she does to us. But we do work a lot with adult protection. Housing referrals, which would be any kind of housing, private boarding homes, the seniors' homes here, the different areas, there's one in Tusket, Pubnico, Wedgeport, those type of housing, you know, trying to find a place for people to live. And like I said in the beginning, our main focus is to keep the seniors, the person in their home as long as possible. So, but there's always that in the mix that you have to find a placement. So we've placed 11 from our list so far. Continuing care and home care, that's another agency that we use a lot because that's for services in your home. If you require home care, you have to go through the continuing care agency and then get the referral to home care. So we work a lot, very close with them. Nursing home, boarding home placements from clients list, that would be people that they could be in their home and be placed to a nursing home. That we've had situations like that. But most times is people that are in the hospital and are waiting for a long-term care facility for a place. So those people, we monitor them because especially if they're our clients and we know about them, we're the ones that, you know, kind of monitor that with the family members or whoever to see, you know, when they will be placed and where they will be placed. Because some of them are placed in Shelburne, or it depends on the situation. And, you know, there's a waiting list for those, the nursing homes. The private boarding homes, we can work with them, you know, because it's private. So, but the nursing home, it's a list that the government has and all that. So that's that. The waiting list on the alternative level of care of the Yarmouth Hospital, the last time we checked, we still had 33 people in there that are waiting for long-term care.
From both?
Yeah, it's both. This is the stats from both.
Yeah.
We don't divide this because our program, this is how we report to the province for our program. So it's one program. It's not two programs. But I tried my best to, you know, keep it apart, but some of the stats are together. Okay, another part of our mandate is to do community presentations. So we do different groups. It can be seniors. It can be different groups. We had a presentation a couple months ago at the Pubnico Library to do with frauds and scams. So those types of presentations, usually I find a resource different than myself. I'm not an expert in those things, so I would get a police officer or whoever to come with me, to come to the group. When I'm doing a presentation on the program itself, it's fine. I can, you know, the program. But when it comes to different categories such as scams and all that stuff, and I bring in the professionals, which is on the abuse or whatever it is. I try, anyhow, we try. It's part of the preventive piece is to do this in the community, to educate the people, to prevent things that happen. Like one of the last things I did, one of them was a presentation to a group here, and I had 5 calls from that presentation because of the way I explained it to them about the safety and lock your door, don't let anybody in, it's not like it used to be, all that stuff. So a lot of people had concerns about that. They called and said, yeah, that was true. So they've had the experience. So, I said that our goal is to facilitate the sessions in remote communities so that many seniors can come. We try to get to the community itself so that the people can come instead of having a group. So it takes more time, but that's okay. Usually the sessions are in the daytime, but we do some evening presentations if the need is out there. We do a lot of presentations also to the continuing care. They had an education day, I don't know, about a month ago, so they asked us to present. So we had the senior safety coordinators from Digby and Shelburne area, and myself and Doris were there to present to them, tell them about the program, because it's not everybody that knows, even if you're in the system, they don't know about the program. We do an average of 15 to 20 sessions per year between the two of us, so, and that's what we put as our goal into our reporting, so we always get our goal in more. So it keeps us busy. And finally, Christmas celebrations, summer events. I partner a lot with the recreation department here with Jeanette, and so I go along with her to help her with the seniors events sometimes. We had the Christmas party. We had the bus tour that I went with. It was a great success. These are just pictures of last year. We had a Christmas light tour with the seniors, and we came to the courthouse here and had some sweets and music. So this is just pictures of that from last year. This year we're doing Christmas events. Doris and I are going to some of our seniors' complexes and doing some music and bringing some treats, and so that's about it. The assisting with filling out forms and information on various programs. One of our major one here would be the home renovation one. We do a lot of those, and we help them through the process of the filling out the forms. That's one of the major ones. But we do also help with other forms like Canada Pension, all that stuff. Yeah, we do. We help as much as we can and make the right connections. So it alleviates the need and the apprehension or the anxiety that the senior has, because they some of them can't read, they can't read or whatever, and it helps them. So they're really grateful and thankful to us for helping them out. Okay, other community groups and/or partners. We are part of many committees and groups. The Choice Housing Committee, that's a big part of our mandate also. We deal with the housing. Seniors Expo, which we have annually here. It's been held here at the École Parent-Bas for the past 3 years, I guess. So that's a group of different agencies that organize it, so we're part of that committee. Restorative Justice, we take part in their meetings, their committees. There is a restorative justice now for seniors. It used to be just the youth, but now they're taking on the adults. So Doris has been to 3 sessions. I've been to 1 that people are going through the restorative justice. The Southwest Senior Safety Coordinators Group, which we're part of, which we try to meet every 3 months, but it doesn't always work. Police Advisory Committee, I sit on that. I've been chosen through the work, so I sit on that, which helps in some ways because I'm right there, so I can kind of relate the information to the police at the advisory level. I also sit on the Home Care Committee, which kind of helps out in different ways also, because I you know, I have close contact with them. Red Cross group, I'm part of the Red Cross group. Continuing Care Education Committee, which was what I was talking about. They always ask us to, you know, give them some education on our program. Mental health and addiction groups, yeah, we use them a lot too. I'm on the EMO Argyle and Community Action Group, which is a group that meets on a monthly basis. And we just have different agencies represented there, and we just talk about different things that are happening in the community. And that's all our senior safety coordinators' hands on the World Abuse Day. Okay, challenges and future of the program. Of course, our future is meeting the living needs of our seniors population and its challenges, which is our, you know, our goal. The small but the necessary things are like snow removal, lawn care, bringing in wood for heat. We have numerous calls that people call us, you know, can we have help for this and that? And we try to, you know, pick at different resources in the community and volunteers. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's depending on the situation. In our target group of population, we look at two groups. There's the older seniors that are isolated both geographically and socially. So there's the older senior group. I'm not going to give you ages. It's just an older group that, you know, and they don't have, you know, they don't have the family support due to many reasons. They don't have any family around here. It could be never had children, or the children are away, or, you know, there's different things. Immigration of new older adults. That's a situation that we've had in the past. I would say maybe the past year and a half. We've had a lot of people coming to our area from away and wanting to live here for many reasons. I don't know why. So usually there's no community contacts. There's no neighbors, that no one they know. They just come here for some reason. I don't know if it's because we are all so friendly or whatever it is. So these situations are at sometimes quite difficult to handle, because you have no contacts. You don't know who to call. You know, they have no one, or they don't want to give you that information. So those situations, yeah, that would be the younger seniors, we identify resources in their community, like I said before, like the volunteers, the younger ones that are still capable, tap into sometimes transportation. It depends, you know, I can make the contacts. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Or doing different things, like with them, bringing them out for coffee or a group of some kind that they want to go and they can't. They have no way of getting there. So it's good to have the young seniors involved with the older ones, because they know. A thing that we haven't captured or we haven't looked at yet, but we're aiming to do, is to capture the younger generation, like the kids or high school, maybe, to tap into that resource. If we could help, you know, build a database and then get them involved with the seniors, which would benefit on both sides. Mm-hmm. Looking forward next 3 years. Now, our program has been reviewed every year by the Department of Seniors for the funding. The last fall here, we had a meeting with them, and our program now is a 3-year plan. So the application that we sent out is going to be for 3 years. So the plan, we had to make a budget and the plan for the next 3 years. So that's why I'm putting here to the next 3 years of the program, and the areas we're focusing on, of course, is the intervention in the home visits, which is always our base, and the priority and prevention piece, the community education, the same you know, that whole process and the younger adults involved. And also, part of it is Doris especially is working with the frontline health and home care providers. She has done presentations to NSCC with the people that are, the students that are there learning to be continuing care people or CNA or whatever they're called, the nurses, the LPNs, all those people. So she's done a few presentations to them to tell them about our program and how it works, and so that when they go out to the community, they will have the resources that they need. So that's a big part of it too, that we do. Partnerships and collaboration will continue to be consistent and vital threads throughout the intervention and prevention piece of our program. So we're still going to do the same work. We're going to continue. Nothing is really going to change. There's been, you know, a change in the dynamics, I guess, or I don't know what you would call it, but like the program when it first started, yeah, it was the home visit base. And, you know, have the tea and cookies, but now it's more, when we go to a visit, it's a big, there's a big reason behind it, like more than usual. We still do the regular visits that are, you know, not so crucial, but there's a lot more to a visit now than there was in the beginning. That's how yeah. And that's it.
Thank you.
All right.
Very well done, very informative, and
Okay.
you covered everything. And Councillor Nakile has a question.
It's more of a comment than a question. I know that any time that I've contacted you, any issues I've ever had that seniors have contacted me with, you've been an awesome resource. You've done an excellent job. And it sometimes concerns me, you know, whether or not you're being spread too thin. So, and you've alluded to the fact that the province gives the funding and it's assessed, it's evaluated, the program is evaluated. Do you ever have concerns? Do you ever see this position getting more resources? Do you think, because our population is aging, I mean, let's face it, we're getting more and more seniors, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Do
you think that, because you and Doris share Yarmouth County, like, do you ever see them maybe getting somebody else?
Well, it's a possibility. The work is definitely there. Mm-hmm. The thing that I've learned in the beginning, I've learned to pace myself. So in the beginning, you know, oh, well, you know, I have to get to these people right away. But it's not an emergency service. I've learned to pace myself. Mm-hmm. But yes, definitely the need is there to hire, you know, people to work in the program.
And you talked about a volunteer base. Is that you that sets up that?
Well, I've been trying for a while, but we are looking into the volunteer, yeah.
So a bigger volunteer base would make your job easier.
Mm-hmm. A list of people that I can call.
So if we had lists of people in the communities that would be willing to help out, would make your job easier.
Yes.
That's what I'm kind of wondering. What would make your job a little bit easier?
Well, yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay.
Because if someone's calling me, you know, and saying, I need your help right now, but it's not really urgent, and like I said, it's not an emergency, but to them it is. Mm-hmm. So if I could find somebody in that community that can go and visit them. I know I've used some of the counselors for this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've called them and said, do you know so-and-so? Are they, you know? So I do call the counselors because they're the resources in our communities and they know most of the people. So I have done that. So, but a good volunteer other than the counselors would be nice too. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Councillor Book?
Yeah, I had the same comment as Nicole, but then I have another transportation that really that there is really bugging me. I'm thinking maybe we should be doing something about it because there's a big need. Every time you come and do the presentation, I think there's a big need. I don't know if we could fundraise or do anything throughout the municipality to purchase in Shelburne, they have a great system. We could do the same thing in our municipality.
Yeah.
I think it's something
we need someone to coordinate it. That's the big thing. It's the coordination of all this because we don't have the time to do it. So
No.
even a coordinator to coordinate the rides or to
Yeah.
coordinate whatever. If there's a volunteer base like that, we can. That person could do that too, help out with that.
I have another, just a comment, and I
Yep.
thank you, Peggy, you and Doris. I mean, it's good for the seniors, they know that there's somebody out there that is thinking about them and doing something about, with them.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Councillor Digdon?
Thank you. I guess Councillor Albright and Councillor Bork pretty well summed it all up. I've worked with you, I know, on a few cases. As far as I'm concerned, you and Doris and other agencies go above and beyond, you know, what's called for you. I have to laugh. You said you know how to, you've learned to pace yourself. But I've also seen you out on calls at 6:30 in the evening after you worked all day and that, so
Yeah.
you're pacing yourself well.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But no, I feel as
I
though
try.
the volunteer program would be great if we could get something going there.
Yes.
And it may be something that some of us may have to sit down someday and have a meeting, maybe with you and
Right.
Doris, and see what we
Yes.
can do or how we can go
Yes.
about getting something like that
Exactly.
going. And I know on
problem.
behalf of a few families that worked with you, thank you for what you're doing.
You're welcome.
And chances are your job's gonna get busier.
Oh, yeah,
Really.
yeah. It is busier. It's always, there's never a dull moment.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Councillor, or should say Deputy Warden, Hughes?
Doesn't matter. Councillor's good. You say now it's a 3-year, that you've had to do a 3-year plan. It was a year before that? Every
Yes.
year you had to do that?
Yes. Yep.
So to me, that shows, I was always kind of wondering how long this program was gonna last. I know when we started, it was, you know, on a trial basis. But as it goes on, you can see more and more the need
Oh, yeah.
for this program.
Definitely.
And the fact that now they're saying, do it for 3 years, kind of encourages you to think that they realize now that this is important,
Definitely.
right? And the fact that they're doing that seems to me that it's probably gonna be a continuing program, right? So that's very good.
You know, and the funding they gave us has been increased by $5,000. It's $20,000 that they give for the program.
Yes, you don't get 100% funding from the government, though.
Oh, no, that's all we get.
That's what I mean.
I mean,
So-
you
so-
guys are
So this program
funding
is
this
costing the
program, yeah.
municipalities, it's
Yeah,
costing,
exactly.
yeah, the
The
RCMP
RCMP is providing
as well.
the
The
office space,
yes.
the equipment, but other
Yes.
than that, yeah, you guys are,
Yes,
I mean, we get 25, yeah.
Yep.
For the program.
Mhm.
They've increased that from 20. It's another-
Councillor Surratt, you had a question?
Yeah, Peggy, I've heard a lot of people in my district and mainly my district, but I'm sure it's everywhere, the home care. People just have a hard time. What's the situation out there? Because you can't get, they come once a month, some people tell me.
Yeah. Well, the way the home care works is you have to go through continuing care, which is through the Nova Scotia Health Authority, right? They're employees of the Nova Scotia Health Authority. So there's caseworkers that work there. I think we have maybe 7 or 8 in that, and they work out of the old nurses' residence at the hospital. So you get a caseworker to go out and do the assessment in the home. And from there, they put in the hours or that is needed in that home.
But the people are telling me, they'll answer them, say there's nobody. They can't come, we don't have enough people. This is what I've been, there's not enough coming up. They don't have enough people working.
Maybe we should get Dengi to come do a presentation.
What's that?
Maybe we should get them to come do a presentation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you haven't heard that, Peggy, or have you?
Oh yeah, I hear
Okay.
comments all the time. I think a lot of people don't know how the system works. I can refer to continuing care and I see the client that I have referred to continuing care, and I see the needs that this person has. But once the continuing care person arrives there, this person does not need or they don't want what. So there's different
Two
things.
sides to the story there?
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
get you.
So it's, yeah.
Tricky.
It's based on the need and not the want, I guess. It's the need, which people sometimes want something, but
They need it.
yes, exactly.
All right, I
So
get you.
if that explains it a little bit, like,
Gives me an idea, because what I've been hearing from people, certainly now that you said that, yeah. It could be that they
Yeah.
want all kinds of cleaning done, but they
yeah.
don't need.
And
people-
that's not their mandate. That's not what they do. Home care is to keep the homes, the people in their homes as long as possible. So the meal prep is one, because of course they have to eat, and the personal care, which is the help with the baths and whatever. So that's the main focus. When home care started years ago, it was cleaning, right?
Yeah.
It's not like that anymore.
I get you.
So it's based on
Get you.
the need and not the want. So
You've answered quite a bit.
if that answers your
Oh,
question.
it does, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Peggy. Any more questions?
Just a comment.
Comment?
I think that the ideas of the volunteer banks and the transportation, we did receive a presentation from Southwest Nova Transit from Shelburne about a year ago, who has
Yeah.
a good model up there. And just a reminder that council's priority setting is coming up, and there are a couple of priorities, outstanding priorities that we've accomplished in terms of the Wedgeport Sewer Project and the municipal building. So it could be something that you guys might want to add onto your list to put it up there.
Not a bad idea.
Great point.
Okay,
And there
thank you
has
very
been
much.
some more.
Thank you, Peggy.
Thank you.
Very
Thank you
good.
very much,
Peggy.
Peggy, great presentation. Great job.
Okay, we'll move right along to number 4, regular council meeting of November 14th, adoption of the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All those in,
Okay.
Councilor,
I have a question, I have a comment, on the Yarmouth Curling Club emergency request, we have Roderick Murphy Jr. making the motion, and I didn't see him in his seat that day, and he had said his regrets, so I think if you go look,
Yeah.
Chris, if you go look, he was not the one that made the motion, he wasn't here. So that could be
that's an error.
corrected,
Yep.
It's a correction to the minutes.
yes.
So do
That's
we
it.
have approval with that correction?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carried. We have business arising from the minutes, and the item we have here is grants to organization policy amendment. This will be the first reading, or can we,
No, you can
pass them now?
You can. I sent, this comes out of the discussion of last meeting regarding the financial request from the Yarmouth Curling Club.
Yes.
You requested an amendment to the policy to be able to provide a one-time specific capital investment for a not-for-profit organization outside of your regular deadlines that you have, April 15th and September 15th. So on page 5 of the policy, you'll see highlighted in yellow the amendments that we're proposing to hopefully respond or answer to what you were looking for.
Yep.
So it pretty well says that you will, outside of the general guidelines or request process, one-time specific grant for a capital project that's needed by a not-for-profit organization or a corporation owned by and controlled by the municipality. Is there
So-
any question?
Is there any questions on that?
So it was sent to you 7 days before the meeting, which satisfies satisfies that.
We have a motion to amend the policy.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carried. Next item is councilor's report. We'll start this end tonight. Councilor Digby, do you have anything to report?
It went this past Saturday to the grand reopening of the Legion, branch 66 in West Pubnico. They did a lot of work in there since they were very successful with the Chase the Ace fundraiser. They also named a room, club room, in memory of Benny D'Entremont. He was Benjamin D'Entremont. He was a long-term serving member, 70-year member of the Legion down home, and a person can almost say without Benny at the helm the last God knows how many years, chances are the Legion would have been gone by now. He put his life and soul into it. He was not around to see the name, the room being named in his honor, because he died this past year, but it was very nice. His family was all there. I co-sponsored a children's Christmas parade this past Sunday with the Legion, and it was well attended. A lot of people came out and had a great time. Santa Claus was there, and children really enjoyed it. And one other thing that I wanted to bring up as just a point of interest, the last meeting we had moved a motion to help a family get hooked up to the sewer system in West Pubnico. And as far as they're concerned, it was an early Christmas present to them, and they'd like to thank everyone and that helped get that done for them. So just passing along their thank you. Thank you. That's it.
Councillor Bork?
I attended the Christmas tree light, which was very nice. They had some nice music and hot chocolate after, and that's about it for my report.
Deputy Warden Muse?
No. The a committee that we have, it's called Bienvenue Argyle. It's Welcome to Argyle. And it's something, you know, that Peggy said kind of remind me of this, because we have people coming into the community that have no idea, they have no connections, they have no way of no family, whatever. And this committee we're trying to organize something that have volunteers, so that we know when new people come in different communities, right? I mean, if someone moves in my village, I usually know, but not everybody else knows. And if I don't go speak to these people, and it's just a way for us to try and welcome people, show them what's available here in Argyle. And we had I guess I don't know if I can call her the coordinator, but she was in charge of our meetings, and it's through CDNA, by the way, right? And it was Natalie Camon, and we wanted her to come here and do a presentation on this. Unfortunately, I just got an email. I don't know if you got the email. Norbert sits on the committee with us, and she is resigning. She's resigning from this position to take another position somewhere else. So I'm not sure how this is going to continue. We hope that it's going to continue, because we've basically just started this, right? And we're kind of moving along. And sometimes when you bring someone else new into a committee like that, you lose the continuity of, because she was very good at what she was doing. So it's just something now that, you know, and like Peggy said, that there's people coming in here, and it's good if we could just make them welcome, you know, make them aware of that we're glad to hear, and try to keep them in these areas, because some will come, and if they're not, they don't know what's going on, they will move on sometimes. Another one, Starlight Committee. I brought this up, I think, at the last meeting, but we had a meeting in last week, and they're still wondering about a lighting policy, right? I know we've discussed that, I know, but they asked me to bring it on again. I think you were contacted as well, yes, Chris, on this, and they had suggestions of maybe what we could do. I'm not sure that I'm going to bring the suggestions here, because I think it's something that should be discussed privately anyway first, yep, right, before I bring that in. Western Counties Library, we met again, met last week. In the province, there's a lot of libraries apparently that have AEDs, automated external defibrillators. And of course, they're about $1,000 to set them up. But the staff, the frontline staff in these libraries are trained to use these. And apparently they're it doesn't take a lot of training to use one of these. And what they're suggesting, and this is not something that we need a decision, but I'm just going to bring it up for your, bring it up to your attention, that if each municipality that has libraries in their municipality, like for us, Pubnico is the only one we have in our municipality, that if each municipality could look after their libraries, because the Western County Library just doesn't have the budget to handle something like that, to equip even part of their libraries, but they're saying that if we could get the municipalities to furnish that for their libraries, that it would be good. And it's not a bad idea to have something like that. I mean, libraries. There's a lot of people who go to libraries, and just knowing if someone knew that it's there, something could happen in a home, and if they're close or whatever. But anyway, it's just something that we may at a point get a request to get municipalities to see if they would supply that. It was just discussed at the meeting, and we were not sure if that's what they're going to do, but they suggested that. The housing, the survey is finally done, and we did get the target people to do it, but it was a lot of work. I did a lot of trying. I mean, I met with senior groups. I sat down with a bunch of at a seniors meeting, and took about 20 minutes of their time. I gave them all a form and said, we'd like to have these filled out. But I knew if I gave them each the form that probably only half would get filled out. I says, if you've got 10 minutes, and I knew it was going to take more, but I didn't want to tell them it was going to take too much of their time. And I said, if we can sit down and we'll fill them out together. I'll go through them, you answer the questions, and they did. So I got a dozen or more filled out there. And this is the type of thing that we had to do, and I know Peggy did the same thing at a few places. So anyway, it's done. There's another survey related to it. Related. And that's for stakeholders and
Service providers.
I started filling it out, and then halfway through I said, I don't think that's for me, but I mentioned that at the meeting today. We had a meeting this morning, and they said, yes, we are service providers, only because we know we're the ones who hear what the needs are. We may not do a whole lot, but we know, and if you go through the survey, you might be able to see with the questions that maybe that is for us. It's just that I looked at who would involve the service providers. I didn't see anything that fit a councillor, but they said just find something that's close. But anyway, they're asking. They asked me to bring this up to council as well. That if you want to look at it, if you want to fill it out, that's fine. If not, if you don't feel it's online. It's the same thing. If you go to the same.
Have you notified anyone?
Yes. Didn't you get? You should have gotten emails.
Oh.
There was emails on that. Every councillor was supposed to get an email on that. About how to.
But I thought the same thing as you. I didn't feel that I was a stakeholder.
No, I looked at it, and then I said no. But then I asked why they sent it to councillors, and they said, well, because we feel that you are a sort of or a kind of a service provider, because you're the ones who hear what the needs are out there. You're the ones, So that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Surratt?
Just a few things. We had the candlelit dinner at the Club Social des Îles in Threads Island. It's a fundraiser for the club, and it was held a couple of weeks ago, very well attended. Also, again, like I said, it's a fundraiser for the club. Indian Slough Seniors Club had their annual dinner. It was on the same night as we had our candlelit dinner, unfortunately, but anyhow, they had their people there. It was well attended. The last item I have is just probably for council, people out there that are listening, of course, at the waste park, the dump tents. There's the C&D waste that's been brought to the waste park is $1,052,000 which was not budgeted in the 3 million to demolish the Domtex. The 1,052,000 is not in that budget, just to let you know. So it's 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. There is also 100 tons of contaminated soil coming to the waste park, and that's a big bill. So just to let you know, and that's not budgeted. This is just to warn you that you'll be seeing stuff at the table here. It's a huge, I would have thought it was in the 3 million, but I guess it wasn't.
This wasn't part of the demolition
Yeah, it
contract.
wasn't that part, yeah. So this is just to let you know, we're into some huge money here before the whole thing is done. That's it.
So that will probably be dealt with in January.
I would think so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Councillor Albert?
Attended quite a few different things. Went to a Nakile meeting, and the manager told us that they finally got their budget, their April budget finally came in, and it's roughly the same as it has been in the past few years. I wanted to just mention about Experience Argyle. It was amazing. It was really well done. The videos were fantastic. I thought it was well done, well explained, and I think it made us look really good. So thanks to all the people who organized that. And what I really like about Experience Argyle is that the money goes to our emergency fund.
Yes.
And I think it's important that people understand that. The Sports Awards banquet, I attended that as well. I also attended the Paramba fashion show for the grads. And a new item at the fashion show this year was Patsy Surratt's vintage clothing. They had a little section on that in the fashion show, which was new this year. And that's becoming very popular. People really, really like that. It was well done. Recreation meeting on the 21st of November. Wayne Hubbard gave us an extensive report of all the work he's done in our municipality on the ball fields and soccer fields, and basically all the upkeep he's done, and the money we are spending on him is well worth it. Our recreation infrastructure is probably the best it's been since I've been on recreation, which is at least 10 years. So it's really, he's doing a great job. Attended also the transportation meeting, then the Tusket tree lighting, and attended Breakfast with Santa at Ecole Belleville on Saturday morning. And I think that's everything.
Thank you, Nicole. And if anybody hasn't seen the track and field lately, go have a look. He's done an awesome job there.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Have a look.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was surprised.
So Wayne did that?
Yeah, because I come and asked
Oh,
Ellen, I said, who's been working on the track and field?
I saw it too, and I
Yeah, so I come here and I asked Ellen what was going on.
Basically, anything he asks us for, we're gonna say yes. Like anything he
Because you know.
needs, because we know he's doing an amazing job, yeah.
Anyhow, the warden's report. I was wondering if anybody was gonna mention Experience Argyle,
Yeah.
because I have it down here. I attended also and had a lot of feedback from that. That was a
Yes.
great event. I also attended the awards banquet, athletic awards. Usually there's a banquet later for Sports Hall of Fame, but I haven't done that one yet. And the one I want to mention, I went to an engagement event in Shelburne where it's a workshop to get the public involved with municipalities. And they were very impressed with Argyle. I give a little presentation on the things that we do with Facebook, like the engagement. Like we talked about Experience Argyle, like I give a big, I don't know, I must have talked about that for 15 minutes. And they was impressed with all the things our staff is doing to get the public engaged, the Christmas tree lighting and getting people involved with the building, the new building, and I told them how that worked and how we done that. And today I had a follow-up phone call, so I had thought of a few more things and was talking to the lady that was putting this on. It's, I can't remember his name. He used to be an NDP MLA. He's the one that heads this program. He was actually the leader for a while. I'm thinking Danny Graham.
Danny
Graham.
Danny Graham, yeah.
He's the one that was heading this
Liberals,
workshop. Yeah.
those were the Liberals.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that was great. Some of us went to the highways meeting where I found that very informative. They took a lot of concern, especially to do with the 103 highway and the 101 highway. And that's about it. And we had an unsightly meeting a couple days ago in SAR. What's the name of that hall?
Knights of Columbus.
Knights of Columbus Hall. But that, I see that's on the agenda for
It is.
later. So that's my report.
And your Facebook Live interview.
Forget that.
Yeah, that was good. That was very good.
We'll move right along to staff report.
Just a few topics from the staff report. Obviously, that's put together by all of the staff. It's a very good read if you do have the time to look all through it. To go through Alain's section, the topics of the Wedgeport sewer project or the septic tank project, that should be about 95% complete by the end of the year. We should be able to do 39 of the 41 projects by the end of this year, with the 2 that would be left in the springtime. And we currently have a waiting list of about 27 or 28 people who would be interested in participating in the project if ever we did another one. So it took a little while to get going, but once the projects did start happening, it really the interest really increased. There was obviously challenges with some of the projects, like there would be any challenge with a construction or a change in landscape or things like that. Hans has been doing a very good job coordinating 39 projects. If you can just imagine trying to coordinate 39 installations all at once with a variety or a number of different contractors. He's been doing very well with that. So we're very happy with that project. Obviously, we're hoping that we'll be able to get more funding to help the 28 people that are interested. But that's we'll have to wait and see about that in the new year. The Municipal Administration building, we haven't, the architects have been quite quiet lately. They've been really working hard on sending us a few changes here and there. There is still some outstanding external design choices to be made, but they're really working hard on the costing right now. They're working with their people, with their costing people, the engineers, trying to determine the best, obviously options and the most cost-effective options possible for the design that we're anticipating to have. The affordable alternative housing. Danny spoke a little bit about the 2 surveys that are out there. We have been communicating. Alain sent out an email maybe last week. We've been communicating with Compass, which is a co-op, housing co-op, to try and garner some interest in the Tri-Counties and specifically in the municipality of Argyle for housing development. That's still fluid. We don't know all of the details yet, but we're working closely with them. And last point that I wanted to raise was the point around the changeover in the management of the airport corporation. So you will see in the report that Alain has assumed management until the end of March 2018. He's listed some of the work he's doing at the airport there. He will try to keep that section in the report just so you can see the work he's doing there. He does spend some time at the airport, but it's still fluid since the transition just happened, but we'll be doing something more, I guess, concrete or more regular in the near future, in the new year. That's the only points I wanted to raise. Is there any questions that I might be able to answer?
Muse, Deputy Warden Muse, sorry.
In Wedgeport, the 27.
Yes.
Okay, when we first started this program, we had a target area.
That's
okay?
correct.
And we ended up going outside the target area because we didn't find enough in the target area. In the 27 now, are they coming from the target area?
A variety, some inside and some outside.
Because people weren't going to until they started seeing what was going on, but then it was too late for them because we already had and we said that all along, that you often wonder, well, is this going to take off? And we said as soon as construction starts and people see what their next door neighbor is getting and for the price they're getting in, they're going to be interested. But too bad that we couldn't catch these in the target area, because I think the target area is the problem area, more so than anywhere else, because that seems to be the area that has the most problems. So anyway, no, so there are some inside there now that probably wish they had gotten on board.
Yes,
Yes.
and obviously, like you explained, we were trying to maximize the funding that
Well,
we
that's
would
it.
be
We-
receiving, so we
yes.
tried to get the maximum amount of projects, and
That's right, yeah.
so that's the way.
I thought I had another one, but can't think of it, that's fine.
Councillor Surratt, you had a question?
Question or comment, I see they authorized the opening of the runway 0624 that had been closed at the airport. I'd certainly like to mention that when they closed that section, $6,000 was spent, and this comes from a very good source, in fact, a worker. $6,000 was spent on painting the white lines on that 0624. Now they've opened it up again, and they're gonna have to do repainting again on those lines. So, just want to let you know there's been some mismanagement going on around there. About time somebody took the helm of that place. I don't know why they closed it. I think Danny may have, you're on the committee.
Yes.
Maybe it wasn't totally his fault, the manager's fault, but there was something
Yeah.
that happened there that they closed it without jumping the gun too fast, maybe.
They were told, from what I understood is, when Transport Canada landed there, they identified the runway under 302 that we were at the time as not passing the grade for a 302 airport. But then, that's the same meeting where we went and we said, we're going to a 301. But they never said that it was
Okay.
okay for 301 at the time, so. He felt like he didn't have a choice to close it at the time because of what Transport Canada had said, but he figures that if they had told him that it's good for 301, then different decisions may have been made, but anyway, that's what I understood.
Thank you. Good, Danny. That's it.
Thank you, and you, Councillor Dickey?
Just about the airport, honestly, I came on as a new councillor a little over a year ago. I've been hearing a lot about the airport. I'm happy right now that Alain is the interim manager for a little while. It seems like that airport, by what I've been hearing the last year, I've been sitting here, and the last few years by listening to media reports and listening to stuff that's going on around the airport, we just seem to be going in circles. We have no direction as to what way we're going. It's costing the municipality of Argyle how much money a year?
I don't have the exact amount, sorry.
In the vicinity of $300,000 or so?
It fluctuates.
Would that be safe
It'd
to
be
say
Oh, yeah,
in
you're
that
right.
vicinity?
330,000 at times.
You know, so I honestly feel as though I hope Alain, I have a lot of faith in him. I hope that we do find some direction to go in and go in that direction. Because right now, I'm looking over at Councillor Albright. She would like to have cell service down towards Quinnen. She's brought it up here before. There's things I'd like to have in my area, along with other councillors. We're spending a lot of money on that airport, and what are we getting in return? I honestly would like to know that. People are saying about when the airport grows and all that. How much is this airport gonna grow? Do we know where it's gonna grow? Do we know if it's gonna grow? You know, that's all stuff that I'm glad we have an interim manager now that hopefully will look at some of this stuff. And the only other thing I was gonna mention here this evening, I know we don't have a lot of the figures in yet, but, and I don't know, I did not see the contract. I don't know if our solicitor seen the contract or not as far as Novatech, but the building was to be tore down. These people, whoever bid on it, knew that this stuff would have to be trucked somewheres, you know, and dumped somewheres, and that there was a chance, being as the age of the building, that there was going to be some material in there that was gonna come up as dangerous material or whatever. You know, now when I hear the figures here this evening, maybe another million, I can see us into this for another $300,000 or $400,000, because I believe it's 1/3 again as a cost sharing. You know, I just think some of this stuff, we, as a municipality of Argyle, we have to start watching out for, honestly. And I'm all for working with the towns and other municipalities around us and all that, but it has to be fair. You know, has to be fair to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I'd like just to make a comment on the airport. The comment being that what are we getting, okay? I think we're going in the right direction. And I don't think that we should close the airport. I think we need an airport for the simple reason for medevac, if nothing else. What about during fishing? We have you know, the Coast Guard, or you know, that are here. Pardon me.
SARS.
Yeah, exactly. So, and there's a lot of chartered flights that come. I mean, I think there is a bit of a something that we get back from the airport, because I think that if there wasn't one there, we have businesses that fly in and out, because businesses that have opened here, like you know, because there was an airport here. So I don't think it's a matter of saying we have to close it. I think it's a matter of bringing it down to where we can afford it and still provide the services that we need to provide. Yeah.
And by all means, and at no time did I ever mention
No,
closing it.
no,
But
no.
at the same time, I feel as though, you know, we do have to bring it, you know, within reason, that we can justify.
Of course.
And that to our constituents, how much money we're actually pouring in.
Exactly,
You know,
yeah.
and as far as medevac, I keep hearing that, but at the same time, it's only a very, very small portion of patients that are medevaced out as far as on a plane. Most of them are taken out by chopper. There's 2 new choppers going actually in service hopefully this month by EHS, which is great. They're gonna have more capabilities than the other chopper that is presently on there now and all that. But, and at the same time, you know, when we say the medevacs, and by all means, it's a great thing, you know, but at the same time, there's some of these residents that are being medevaced out are from some other parts of southwestern Nova Scotia that may not be putting any money into this airport. But yet-
Including the provincial government.
But you're getting the same service, and including the provincial government that may want to back us up some on that one.
Councillor Surratt?
I would just like to add on that to what Councillor Muse and Councillor Digdon said. We have an airport in, I say we, there's an airport in Port Hawkesbury for $150,000 a year. They have medevac, they have
Charter flights.
everything you can name that goes on there. They had double the landings and takeoff that we've had, and they've done it for $150,000. So, and the gentleman was down here that came and looked at the airport in Yarmouth, so it's, we can't close the Yarmouth airport, but yet at the same time, all these services are able to be done instead of spending $900,000 to $1 million a year. They're doing it for $150,000, getting the same service we are. What's the matter with this picture? That's all I have to say.
Another thing that sort of bothers me a little bit, you mentioned all the money that we spend on the airport, but start calculating all the man hours that we're putting in with our staff running the airport. And Al Lynn's a fine person, he'll probably do great there. But that airport isn't even in our municipality. So I don't know why we're stepping to the forefront and trying to basically bail this out on our own. So anyhow, that's one of the issues I have with it. Hopefully in January, Alan will sit down with all of us so we can have a meeting primarily about the airport and see where we're going with this, because, I mean, yeah, that's the concern I have. Anyhow, we'll move on because we're going to be here all night.
Just 2 points to
Good
clarify.
discussion.
The actual amount is 264,000 that we budgeted for the airport this year. And I'll just let me know that the reason why it was closed originally was because the 302 certification, the runway wasn't suitable under that certification, but it was suitable under 301. So the efforts to reopen it under 301 are being done because that runway, 0624, is the safest and most dependable runway that they have. So that was the
Great
reason.
point.
And obviously, unfortunately, Alan couldn't be here tonight because of his knee surgery, but he will definitely be able to go into more detail than I can around the workings of the airport and the future of the airport.
Great.
But just to show Alain's dedication, now here he is home, you know, on medical leave, but yet watching the meeting and having input. That's he's dedicated.
Surgery today.
Surgery today.
Surgery today,
He's
yeah.
still at the table, just not physically.
No, so
Okay, I should mention that to the public that is watching this. If you go to the Municipality of Argyle's webpage, on the home page, on the left-hand side, you can press and get the agenda, because there's a lot in the agenda we go over that we don't go through all of it, so sometimes the public may be wondering what we're talking about, so they can actually go on and get the agenda up. Okay, financial report, you have 1 minute.
So that is all that I'm going to attempt in terms of time to try and give you an extremely high level overview of where we are financially. Marshall was intending to be here, and she tried to be here today, but she's been battling a cold for 3 or 4 days, and she had to leave early because she couldn't last until tonight. So you are left with me. I hope you don't have any questions. No, that's not true. I'm going to try and give you that. If you do have any questions, I'll take them down if I can't answer them, and you can always email Alain or Marsha afterwards. So we do have an anticipated surplus at the end of the year. The reasons for that mainly are in the revenues, as we mention often, the positive variance in the transfer tax, but also a few variances in the expenses that are coming up with the surplus. The first is in administration, so that's spread out over things like meeting fees, building repairs, office supplies, office furniture, advertising, postage. Obviously, we're not maybe spending as much money on things like office furniture and building repairs and those type of things as much as we maybe would be if we weren't anticipating being in a new building in a year. But obviously we're not doing anything. It's just, that's the reason why it's a bit lower. In sewer collection, you'll see in the West Pamlico line item that there is a $28,899 surplus. That's mainly for savings in general, so repairs, sludge removal, and capital and infrastructure. So there's some things there that just either haven't happened or we budgeted more than we needed. In dangerous and unsightly, there's a $10,000, $372 surplus. That's mainly because we haven't cleaned up, or the cost of the properties we've cleaned up haven't been as high as expected, or we haven't cleaned up as many as we thought we would. And finally, the two last points are the recreation active living line item that's spread out over things like student wages. So in terms of summer students, either we receive more grant money than we anticipated, or we don't hire as many or students or as on a long period. So their weeks might be lower than we thought. Program expenses. And even though our infrastructure is very well maintained and has been the best in a long time, our repairs and capital project budget in that section is actually $7,000 under budget. So that attributes to the $21,535 surplus in recreation and active living. And finally, under the courthouse and museum, there is a surplus there of $10,993, and that's due to repairs and maintenance and mainly capital equipment savings so far. So that is a general high-level explanation of our anticipated surplus as of October 31st. So we are in December, and we have started to finalize the financial report for the end of November. We just thought that we didn't want to skip a month. So either you'll receive the November by email, or they'll be combined with the December in January.
Thank you. Very good position after 7 months.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully the rest of the year
Yeah.
goes along on that trend. Then the next is a graph showing our council priority progress report with our colored graphs and stars in position. Like you said earlier, the Wedgeport project is winding down. And the administrative building is coming right along. So do you have any comments on this, Chris?
Not that we've already mentioned already.
Number 11, other business for decision and discussion. Yarmouth Curling Club financial request. What did we give last month? It slips my mind already.
Nothing.
That's what I thought. We have a meeting tomorrow night with the curling club. If anybody's going, I plan on going at the.
Didn't even know.
It's at the curling club itself for the golf course.
Who was invited?
I have no idea. Rob?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to be around.
Okay.
I'm heading for Halifax tomorrow for meetings.
So would you like to take this one?
I can.
Chris? Yes.
I can give you a little bit of background just to bring everyone up to speed on what we've been requested and new developments since that time. So in October, at our joint council meeting, the Yarmouth Curling Club made a presentation requesting funds to help them with their compressor that let go and that they needed to replace to be able to open the curling club. So that was a $35,000 repair that they needed done, and they did do it. But unfortunately, since that time, a leak in their chiller forced them to replace their chiller. And that has caused the ice plant to close, which is not allowing them, which has ended up having to close the curling club for the time being. And that was at a cost of $45,000. So now the repairs total approximately $85,000 is where they find themselves. So at the last meeting, there was no financial commitment made because our policy didn't technically allow it. Now that you've made the policy amendment, you are able to, if you so choose, make a financial commitment to the Yarmouth Curling Club. So the initial request was for a third of the $35,000, which would total $11,666. Now with the new repairs that have needed to be done, the curling club has requested an additional financial commitment or funds to be able to help them out to open. So we have looked at the budget and we found two line items or areas that we believe that we could take money from to help the Yarmouth Curling Club in this fiscal year. They're listed there, the airport special request line item and the D transfer tax, which I explained earlier. So our recommendation is that it seemed that council was interested in providing funds to the Yarmouth Curling Club because of your request to change the policy. So our recommendation is to provide a maximum of $10,000 in funding this fiscal year with the option of another $5,000 to $8,000 next fiscal year following the grants to organizations process, the regular grants to
But
organizations
they won't be
process.
able to, this is a one-time.
That's correct.
We can't do that next year under the same policy.
Right, the $10,000 would be considered under the new clause of the one-time
Right.
emergency capital
Yes.
project funding.
And next year would have to go through the regular applications.
That's
through
correct.
Yeah.
So that's all that we had outlined for you. If you do have any questions or comments,
Councillor Surratt?
open to that.
I feel through our commitment with the 3 units that we committed 1/3, which would be 11,666.
66.
So I feel that 10,000 is not doing what we said at that meeting. So I'd like to keep our word to go to 11,666, and the other one with the 5,000 that fiscal year to the grants makes sense to me. So that's it? Yeah.
I would second, you're making that informed.
I made that a motion, yeah.
Yes, and I would second that by all means, as long as the other, the municipality and the town go along with that as well.
The town has already.
The town's already-
Have a pass, 1166,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, and
And
there,
add that on, yes.
okay, and there's the municipality of Yarmouth yet to,
I have no idea of that.
was there 3 of them that they were approached though?
Yes.
3?
Right here,
Okay, yes, yeah.
pending that,
Pending that
that
they,
the other 2 units provide.
that's right.
Yeah.
I'd second that
Great.
motion.
Yeah. I'll put that on there.
Okay, I have a question on the motion. So there's a motion then?
Yes.
on the
Yeah,
floor.
that's,
Question on the motion okay, that's been, the 11, 166 or 666.
Yeah.
If the others don't, are we still gonna give 10,000? What's
It just,
the,
it's in the motion that says that pending the other.
pending, but if the others don't, do we give nothing? That's what my
Well,
question
We,
is.
as far as I'm concerned, myself, I'm only seconding the motion. If the others don't come forward with their money, and that it's going nowheres anyway,
that's right.
Well,
it's-
they've already spent this money.
you know?
Whether the others do or not, they have spent this money, and if we committed, to me, if we committed a third and we make a motion, I think we've said that we would pay our share. Now, if the others don't pay their share, I don't think it would be fair to the curling club for all of us to back down, because they have already spent the $35,000, right?
But-
And it doesn't mean that just because they don't want to contribute, that we shouldn't, because it's not a joint thing. We're not doing this, we are not doing this, that if all 3 don't contribute, it doesn't mean that they're not gonna be able to do the project. And this is, when I see a motion like that, it's for something that, if they don't get the full funding, they can't do it. So we're not gonna give our third if they can't do the project. In this case here, they have done the project. And I think if we are going to support the current club, we're not, to me, we're not supporting it on the basis that others do. We're supporting it because we feel they have borrowed the money to do this $35,000, from what I understood, because they had to do it. So they have a bill here, and whether the town gives or doesn't give, I think what we can give is a benefit to them, and it doesn't have anything to do with the town or the municipality. That's my view.
I totally disagree with you. I say that when we were here, it was a tri-unit meeting, and we made a commitment, the 3 of us, and I certainly think it was understood that each partner would give in their 1/3, and I was under the presumption that, on my part anyhow, that it was a tri-unit thing. Yes, they have a bill, yes, they have a cooler, but we heard Phil Mooney, Councillor Mooney, mention, we'd give even 20,000, he said, at that time. But he said certainly they'll go in with 11,666, as long as the others go on that, and that's what I'm doing. If they don't want to put their money in, why should we be throwing money in there? And will they fail? Will we be throwing money in? This is a way for us to tell them, hey, we're paying our share, you guys should too.
Exactly.
And that's what I feel, that's why I disagree with you.
Yeah.
If we're here, we're gonna, we have to get our partners to listen and say, oh yeah, Argyle's gonna give them, I don't give anything. No, we'll give if they want to, if they're willing to give, we'll give too. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
I disagree with that.
I still disagree with that. Totally disagree, because.
Well, I
it's
totally
not-
disagree with what you said.
Yes, so,
We're
because
going-
because
and-
I think it's money that we're helping an organization. Whether the others want to help or not, we're doing our share. And I think it's good practice for our municipality to give our share. because
Were you
we
at the
told them we
meeting?
would.
Were you at that
Yes,
meeting?
yes, I was.
You know what they said, the 3 units?
Well, they said they
Yeah.
would, but they still had to go to their individual councils to pass it, same as what we're doing here. But I don't think that we should we shouldn't have to depend on whether they give or not, because we're not helping the other municipalities. We're not stopping a project. The project has happened. We're helping an organization that's in need. And I think that if we committed $10,000 or $11,000, that we should honor that, whether the others do or not, at
Well,
least.
I don't think that if we start doing that, then we'll be putting money all the time.
No.
And the others would come in. Well, you say no, how do you know?
No, but why, it's not costing us any more if they don't.
Okay, we have a
Anyhow, I disagree
motion.
with you.
The only thing
Councillor
sorry.
Albright.
I was just thinking too, like, the curling club, who does the curling club serve? It doesn't only serve the municipality of Yarmouth, it only doesn't serve the
No.
town of Yarmouth. I know we have residents who use the curling club. I know we have schools who use the curling club. And I feel the same way. I hear what you're saying, Councillor Surratt. I hear that you're saying that if we just give them the money, the other two may say, okay, Argyle's gonna throw in. I understand where you're coming from, but I also feel like we made a commitment.
Yes.
And I feel like they're a nonprofit organization. If we don't help and fulfill our commitment, then it doesn't look good on us. And I really feel that we should make that commitment. I feel that we should give them the 11,666. My other concern is 5,000 to 8,000 grants to organization. When we get those figures, we know what happens, right? It's not going to be 5,000 to 8,000.
It's not gonna be that.
It's going to be petered down to 2
Exactly.
if we're lucky.
15.
You know, I'm
Yeah.
worried about that because I know that the curling club is struggling. They're struggling. We've heard it. They have issues happening with their equipment that they can't fund. They've had to have a loan already. So not only do I feel like we need to commit the 11,666, I think we even need to look at the 5,000 to 8,000 to our grants to organizations. I don't know if I'm quite content with the motion that's on the floor.
I'm not depending, because this is not a joint project. It's
Especially
not,
that
it's
first
not a
chunk.
joint 3-unit project. This is an organization that's in need, and we have said that we would pay.
Right.
And I don't think that it has to depend on anybody else paying. We're gonna give you. If we give and the others two don't, then they have a $25,000, whatever, $22,000 loan. But at least we've done our part to help them. And it doesn't mean that it's not as if it's a project that we as a group are working on, and they say the other, and then it depends on the others giving, because if not, either we're going to have to pay more or it's not going to go. This is not the case here. They have spent. It's an organization, and it's not an organization of the municipalities. It's an organization that has absolutely, we don't own. We're helping an organization with a difficulty. I mean, are we going to say the same thing when they come to a grant? We will give if the town gives. I don't think that's fair.
But it's not the same thing, then.
Yes, it is the same thing.
Grants to organization doesn't involve Yarmouth.
Well, no, but this, I know,
It doesn't-
but this doesn't include Yarmouth. This is the curling club.
Listen,
itself.
if we don't pull our weight and leverage by us giving and having the tri-unit, it helps them to focus it, to give money. That's what
But
I
it's
find.
not
If
a
we-
tri-unit project.
Well, it is not, but it was said at the meeting here.
But they didn't say.
Okay, we're repeating ourselves.
I know.
Digdon, Councillor Digdon.
That's the only reason I put that on, or asked if we could add that on to the motion. It was under the understanding when they went looking for funding that it was between 3 units. The municipality of Yarmouth, the town of Yarmouth, and the municipality of Argyll.
So why did Phil say we'll pay the 20,000 if we have to? In other words, if nobody else will pay, we'll go up to 20. I don't think it was an agreement that it had to be done if all 3 agreed.
Councillor Burke?
No, I lost my train of thought here. I think that it was just, the bill was just divided into the 3 units,
That's all it was.
That's all it was, and it's not, if the town of Yarmouth was paying, or if it was a municipality, I think it was just, they were dividing the bill into the 3 units, that's all it was.
That's all it was.
That's all I
And I think
understood.
we owe them our share.
I have one more comment, and I would like to say that what about if we give our 11, just to throw something in? If we go give our 11,666 and nobody else gives, and then they fold up. So what happens to our money? Because they didn't get the other 2 and they fold up, there's our money gone down the.
Well, they're not going to fold up because of
Oh,
that, because
oh, you know
they
that.
already have the loan.
How do you know that? If they can't pay the loan?
So,
You want to say something?
yeah,
Robert's rules?
No, it's not Robert's rule. It's just, I guess, to kind of not wrap things up, it just clarifies some of the points.
Motion's on the floor.
Just the motion that is currently on the floor doesn't mean that it can't be revisited in the future. So if it was decided that it was contingent on the other municipal units funding, which at this point we have, to our best of knowledge, full intentions that they're going to do the same. We already know from the town of Yarmouth that they've committed theirs, and we haven't heard anything different from the municipality of Yarmouth. You can still revisit this at another meeting if at some point the municipality of Yarmouth doesn't provide their funding that they intended to do.
There's a process we'll have to follow in order for.
Of course, but it's still not impossible to do so. So I just wanted to clarify that before. Obviously, we've sent the request for decision. We have a spot or areas in the budget that we can take our funding from at this time. That's all I wanted to
If
say.
the motion is defeated, there is no funding. Because if you vote against the motion, because the motion has those conditions in it, correct?
It does.
But if we can read,
But does that motion have those conditions in it?
yes.
At
Yes, it
this
does.
time
So
it
there you go.
does.
So if you defeat the motion,
Pending.
no funding.
No funding at all. But you said that we could revisit it. Why can't
Yeah.
we just make another motion now to say we will
Because the
give it?
motion is on the floor.
Yeah, but
It's already
after it's
recorded.
defeated.
If it's but because you can't revisit it immediately at the same meeting.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. We've had a lot of discussion.
So we can revisit though.
Later.
At
Later.
another meeting.
I don't think we're gonna have to.
I believe there's it has to be brought at another meeting because it was an issue that was already discussed.
two-thirds.
And I believe 2/3 have to
approve.
approve that the subject matter be allowed at the meeting to begin with, and
Yeah.
then the discussion ensues.
Yes.
And just to clarify, when I seconded the motion with the conditions added, I'm all for giving them the funding.
Oh, same
But at
here.
the same time, I don't want us to be the only ones giving them the funding.
Same here.
I don't want the town of Yarmouth to back out and say, well, we're not gonna give them the
We know
funding.
what happened already.
Or the municipality of Yarmouth. Cause I was just wondering if the shoe was on the other foot.
Thank you.
Some organization down in this municipality looking for funding, and that how much we'd actually get from the town of Yarmouth.
They
or
are.
the municipality of Yarmouth.
Okay.
you.
Are we clear?
I think so.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye, because of the fact that we can revisit. That's the only way, because
That's fair? That's-
Against?
That's fair.
Motion carried. Next one is a little housekeeping, Grant Thornton internal control findings and a couple of small issues and they've been taken care of. Do you want to explain what happened?
Yes, that's correct. So this is a document that's prepared out of the audit from Grant Thornton, which is reviewed by Marsha and Alain, and they have provided their comments. It is brought to council for acceptance so that it can be sent to the province.
Do we need to make a motion
Yes,
on that?
please.
Is there a suggested motion? I'm going to get it open here.
There is no suggested motion. It would simply be to accept the internal audit findings.
I'd move that we,
yes, I'll second that.
We have a
Accept
mover and second.
internal
Any
audit.
discussion?
of Grant Thornton.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carried. Next one's Nakile Home for Special Care Partial Tax Exemption Request. And we have several options that we could look at and recommendations and a suggested motion. This is something that's been going on for a few years now. Would you like to explain where we're at with this?
I can if you'd like.
Yes?
As you explained, this has been going on for a few years. It started in 2015. So we received, again, another request from Nakile for the partial exemption that they've been receiving since that time. So if you remember, in 2015, once the property taxes increased due to their completed expansion, their budget and the funding that they receive from the province doesn't cover that increase. And at that time, it was roughly $17,000. So in 2015 and again in 2016, you approved a partial exemption of that amount, which leaves them with their maintained property taxes, which is roughly $25,000. So since we've received it again this year, we wanted to take we're not looking at it in a different way. We just wanted to take a bit more time in explaining it to you and providing you some options that maybe we could think about it a different way. So in our CEO's recommendation, we do recommend approving the amount this year for the partial exemption for the same as it has been the last 2 years. But we have thrown out ideas in terms of either changing the exempted amount or reviewing the arrangement, how it is now, and possibly coming up with solutions of a transitional increase in their taxes so they wouldn't be all in one lump sum. Obviously, we're assuming that it's the intent of council to help Nakile since you've already approved the partial exemption the last 2 years. Or you could accept the request on a more longer term basis. So instead of them having to request a partial exemption every year, you could do it on a multi-year basis, 3 years or a bit more than that. So that being said, our recommendation is to accept the partial exemption request, but review the arrangement for our next fiscal year, obviously alongside Nakile.
Need a motion?
Yes.
I'll
Yes,
make a
please.
motion.
We have a suggested motion here. Is there,
Second.
is there a seconder?
Mm-hmm.
We're all clear? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carried. The next one is Nova Scotia Webcams Municipal Funding Program. And that's a lengthy,
Mm-hmm.
with a lot of options. And I did see a recommendation here somewhere.
Yes,
There
there
is.
is somewhere.
Suggested motions. Would you like to brief us on this one too,
I can.
Deputy, or
I feel like I'm talking a bit too
Clerk
much.
Faulkner?
To give you a background of this program, we have met with a couple of not-for-profit organizations who have been interested in the past and recently in installing a Nova Scotia webcam at their location. So obviously, Nova Scotia webcams are a very well-established network of webcams that have a website. You might have seen recently circulating on Facebook a Donair webcam that's on Nova Scotia webcam. So it's used by
Nice screen.
a lot of people. Last year, in 2015, they had 845,000 unique visitors and over 2.7 million visitors to their website. So it's used by tourism and business marketing, traffic and weather monitoring. Some people look at webcams in Halifax if they're traveling to find out the weather. It's used often by people who have moved away, who are missing home and they want to see the landscape. Unfortunately, the municipality of Argyle does not currently have any webcams in our area. So that was, I guess, where this idea was born from, was being approached by those organizations and possibly, in comparison to what other municipal units are doing in the area, help them out. So as we outline in the budget considerations, there is a one-time setup fee of $1,000 or $2,000, and there's also 2 monthly options. The first being the 2-second refresh still images, so you just see an image put up every 2 seconds, and that's $129 a month, and the live streaming with audio option of $249. So we did a scan. We contacted the municipality of Clare, the municipality of Yarmouth, the town of Yarmouth. As indicated in the report, there's a variety of different models that have been used. So we chose to provide you with 3 options. The first being 100% coverage, so the municipality would cover 100% of the setup fee and 100% of the monthly service fee. The second option is 50-50, so the organization or business would pay 50% of the project or the installation and the service fee. And option C would be that we would pay 100% of the setup fee and the organization or business would pay the monthly fee that they chose to pay. So based on the information, the communication, the discussions we've had with those 2 not-for-profit organizations, and there may be more interested, it seemed as though the setup fee was the issue because it was a larger lump sum upfront payment. So we thought that if we could cover that setup fee and then allow them to choose the monthly fee that they would want, and that they could pay that on a monthly basis, it would encourage businesses also and not-for-profit organizations to install these webcams so that we can continue to promote Argyle in this fashion. I think I've covered. The only other point I'd like to make is with this option, or with Nova Scotia Webcams, you enter into a 3-year agreement so that the term, the installation term or the service agreement term is over 3 years. So we are also in the options suggesting or putting out there that we could do up to 2 webcams per year, up to a maximum, I guess, of 8. So it's kind of like our community hall fund. We would obviously want to see more than one, because then you create a cluster. So it's nice to see when you go on the website, there's 3 or 4 in the municipality of Clare. Oh, it's all there. So you kind of look through that. But obviously have an end to it so that it's not never ending, and that you're ending up spending a lot of money. And the fact that we pay the upfront setup fee and not the monthly fee, it reduces the risk to the municipality of, after having 8 installed, that the budget for it is reaching $10,000 a year just on the monthly service fee. So the only other thing I'm going to mention is the package at the end is what we would present to the business or the not-for-profit organization, and it includes the application form and the evaluation criteria, which would be used by the community development officer to assess the application and whether or not whether or not they would get a webcam, but whether or not the communication, I guess, would begin, or the negotiations with the business. Mm-hmm. So sorry for being long-winded on that. But
I went through the whole
Yeah.
thing this afternoon, and it sounds like option 3 does look like the best one in my opinion, but I mean,
Same here.
it's up to council.
It's a great program. I think this is just,
Yeah.
whoever came up with this it's a brilliant idea. I certainly want to make the motion on option C. If so the other councillors so wish to, somebody wish to second that, great idea.
And you're not gonna put that the first one should go on the bridge?
we already tried that, I think.
As long as they don't all go to public, or we can get some in on the bridge. No, but, or in Westport.
I think it's a great marketing tool.
Oh,
Honestly,
absolutely.
It is.
Not a lot of money.
Absolutely.
So we have a second.
I second it.
Yes.
I think we could take the liquor store off of that one. They had a incident at the liquor store in West Pubnico here, and that a couple of weeks ago of a ram trying to get in. And
That was funny.
It was on YouTube, but it had to come down off of YouTube. They were told to take it down, so.
Oh, my God.
And with the legalization of marijuana going in the 1st of July, I'd say you want to take it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor of option C?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carried. Affordable and alternative housing priorities. Do we have more to add to that? This is the co-op on
The compass.
Compass.
Mhm.
Basically, that's a co-op, right?
So at this point, this is more for information than anything.
Yeah,
There's no
we-
decision
yeah.
to be made on
No.
this at this point, no.
We've discussed.
UNSM Workshop Committee appointment. Is there anybody with good organizational skills that are volunteering?
Oh, Danny. Honestly.
I point wrong. Point Junior.
Put you
Yeah. It's just mostly to organize the activities
Mhm.
more than you don't organize the conference, you organize the activities
That's
around
correct.
the conference.
The evening reception, things like that.
Yes.
Would you be interested?
I would, unless if you were with an alternate, I definitely, whatever you want, sir.
Well, I would say
Gee
that,
whiz,
yeah,
man.
Nominate
Glenn
Councillor
would be a
Dickey.
great.
No question.
Trying to help you out here.
Thanks a lot.
That's it.
That was good. Yeah.
Thank you for volunteering,
Yes.
Councillor Digdon.
No problem, thank you.
Chances are you might be able to get one of the evenings in West Pimlico if you're on the committee.
I was thinking about that when I put my name in, folks.
Yes.
Yeah.
You need a motion?
It's been done before.
As long as it's
Yeah.
not during a
You
funeral.
need, you need a motion?
Yeah, we need a motion to
Yeah,
appoint.
I would say we
that
need a
appoint
motion.
Councillor Digdon to fill that position.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Request to relieve taxes and interest, 2 small housekeeping items. Quick motion would be in order.
Yes.
It's a total exemption of $250.
I'll make the motion
I'll second it.
that we exempt, that we, it's not exempt relief.
Yeah, we can't tax Her Majesty the Queen.
We could try.
We tried, but it
She could
didn't.
probably afford it.
Yeah. Prince Harry.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carried. Correspondence and information, that's for everybody's entertainment. There is one here that has a financial request that could probably should go on to the next agenda.
12F,
I would,
Yeah, 12F, it's
that's what I
the
seen too.
Southwest Nova Biosphere region.
Oh, okay.
Couldn't that go to grants for organization? That was was gonna be my suggestion.
that was the reason why we had put it in under for information, is that they have been requested to submit an application
Okay.
under
Oh,
that
okay.
program.
Go
Very good.
And the only other two, if I
Yes, you may.
the DPC cannabis legalization report, you will see that the province has announced their regulations and guidelines and structure around the legalization of cannabis. Charlene and others have been attending some councillors, some sessions and workshops around what that might look like and the impacts on the municipality. The DPC is looking at our municipal planning strategy and our land use bylaws and the impacts that it could have on that. But we don't have an active PAC, Planning Advisory Committee. And with these changes, we will need a group that will be able to help us and guide us through the changes in the regulations.
Don't we have a PACs that?
We do, it's just it's not active, and a number of the residential members have just been there for a very long time, and they've just decided that now was the time to step down. So we will be reigniting or reactivating that Planning Advisory Committee based on the changes that are about to come.
Yeah.
You will see a lot of things in the future, especially with the announcement on Friday in the news or elsewhere regarding the legalization of marijuana, of cannabis. We just received a report from Dalhousie University that we worked with them on. They've done a study of the impacts on other areas that have gone through this type of legalization. So we will be bringing recommendations or suggestions in what that might look like. So it's a hot topic at the moment.
Yeah.
Just to give you an update or a heads up that is coming, and the date is next July. So the time frame is quite short as well. And lastly, the 2007 Unsightly Premises Forum happened on December 7th, as the warden mentioned. The report of that forum is on the agenda. I wanted to mention it because it's a last-minute addition, and because I wanted to provide it to the public.
Yeah.
But the document is there, and if you do have any questions about it, don't hesitate to email us or give us a call.
Councillor Boat,
I
yeah.
just want to, on the cannabis, I think I heard it right on the news. The FCM leaders are trying to get their hands on the money to help the municipalities to handle this, because it's going to impact us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the point was around sorry, I don't want to interrupt.
Oh, no, go ahead. No,
It was just
probably
around,
answering my question.
it was just around especially around the policing and the extra
Exactly.
costs. Right now, to the best of my knowledge, and from what I understand, there is no, out of the taxes, contribution to the municipalities. It would be determined between the municipalities and the province of what they receive. And so there's a lot of negotiations happening with all levels of government because of the regulations and the short time frame that we're having. And that's why we want to keep you guys up to date on what's happening, and you'll probably see it throughout the new year on the agenda, just because of that reason.
I actually brought that up when we were up in Kentville, as far as funding, and if the profits would be divided, you know, some amongst municipalities across the province and towns, and that, to help with the extra policing. And their answer at that evening was they didn't know if there was gonna be any profits for a couple of years or so. They didn't know how it was gonna work and what they were gonna do with the profits, but.
I thought if we had money, it would be called potluck.
Okay, moving right along.
Oh, my God. Oh, that was bad.
Yeah, that was bad, dude. Financial requests. The Action Committee for the Parents of Wedgeport, I assume that's the Lucians?
Yes.
Yeah,
Could open
Lucia,
it
I
up.
think.
So,
Now, can I
yes.
ask a question here? Both seem to be the same thing. Like, this is, the first one's a letter from Kelly LeBlanc, and when you go to the actual one, let me see. No, okay, it's different, two different people
One's from
requesting.
One's from Belleville, one's from Wexford.
Yeah,
Oh,
two
yeah.
people
It's the same
requesting,
situation.
same situation, that's
Just two
why it
different-
kind
yeah.
of,
I
yeah.
wonder what you meant.
Yeah, okay. So Lucien's indicated, like, it's not here though, is it? But
It
Lucien
is.
indicated that he would give
He's willing to.
the $500.
That's correct.
So I will make that motion
And
on
I'll
his
second.
behalf.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Carried. And
Second one came, and I would like to make the motion to give $500 as well to the Grandir en Français program at École Belleville,
Right.
because the school insurance program is not covering the children. They can't play on the play structures anymore, so that money will go towards, that money will go towards toys, basically buckets, shovels, things like that for them to play
I'll
with.
second that.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carried. Any agenda topics for the next meeting or notice of motion by councillors? Seeing none, question period. Adjournment?
So move.
Junior's not here, how are we gonna do that?
I'm gonna do that.
We're gonna be here all night.